Hey guys, what's up? Vincent here and welcome back to another video. So yeah, in the last video I showcased my Armored Airborne deck. Today I wanted to show you the deck a little bit in action. We are here on Mandarin River and I'm playing together with one of my friends here. He's going to go on D while I'm going to play on the flank on H here. Yeah, again, I wanted to give you a better idea of how to actually play the deck, play to its strength. I think this match is quite a good, showcase of that. Simply because you really can dominate the open fields with this deck quite well, especially on this map on the flank, on the right flank that we're playing here. It's very open. And yeah, you can very much utilize the range of the Bradleys, your vision from your recon units, and your long range artillery here. So first of all, let's start how to open with this deck. So as you can see, I first bought my armored units, meaning my Shorat, the Bradleys, one tank, and now after they are already on their way, I'm buying the two tow teams and probably a bit more of infantry. And I would always recommend it to do it that way, simply because, tanks and your Bradleys are much slower than the ISVs in which my tow teams are driving. So basically, as you'll see, the tow team is going to catch up and basically be at the same time on the H spot as my tanks. And that is quite important, I would say, typically. I think there are like two types of openings. So first of all, you could say you want to kind of like rush points, as my mate is doing here on D. So basically put all of your opening points into units that are moving fast or have fast transport, and try to get to the deep point as soon as possible. Maybe if there are some important houses to take, to then fight the enemy head on, as we're now seeing on D, which actually works out very well here for my mate, because the enemy is putting two tow teams directly on D, and the airborne are going to clean them off quite nicely. But yeah, again, if you want to play some armor, you kind of like have to wait for this armor to arrive. So it doesn't really make that sense for me to, buy the tow teams early or some kind of infantry, because yes, they might arrive there early. But they then also have to fight off the first wave of the enemy. So here they arrive somewhat unison. And we can see there's currently like no one really on my side, whilst my mate is getting somewhat pounded now, also with the cruise missiles. And we are like on Discord here, so I'm just telling him to be a bit more cautious, a bit more defensive, until I arrive here on the right flank. And as you can see, I can already start to pick off the enemy units with the tows here. And yeah, I also brought this Scout Bradley. Again, I really like this one, especially on these open fields. You can really, it can scout for itself, and you utilize its full range. Also provide vision for the tow teams. I also brought the cavalry scouts here with me for vision. And another Bradley with one mechanized infantry squad, as I'm now trying to push up there. And the enemy is going to spam it of cruise missiles, as they're going to do throughout the game. And also going to fire a lot of tows here at us. But we can push through here somewhat nicely. And I would say on Mandarin River, this house line, which my Bradley is currently at, if you are manage to take it, this can be pretty nice. So again, here's a good micro with the Bradley to evade the enemy tows. Drive up there. However, what's not so good, I now have 2 vehicles on a spot, and yeah, as I'm saying it, becomes one cluster, and I'm gone. Yeah, so again, that really showcases how strong these cluster planes are. Of course, if you, which you shouldn't ever do, you know, stack up your vehicles like that and don't move them, and it's very, very easy targeting for the enemy if they have cluster planes, which usually people do, simply because they are just so damn good at the moment. Yeah, nevertheless, I managed to bring in 1 tow team in these houses. Together with the Scout Bradley, they can really, you know, dominate this open field here. And with that Sturm they're going down, we more or less managed to hold off the first enemy assault there quite nicely. We could, you know, defend our position here. And yeah, at this point I also brought some supplies with me, and I'm now going to bring in my Iron Thunders. And starting to get a little bit more of vision here with the scouts and the Scout Bradley. And yeah, as you can see, I can see quite far the Scout Bradley, and I can see the book there in the back line, which is trying to escape. At this point, I think I just decided to chase in there. They're on full retreat now from D, and can pick up these units quite nicely. Yeah, Scout Bradley can even see the book there in the tree line, and also picks it up. So very, very great start here for the Scout Bradley. Takes out the enemy AA, which is huge. I even see the S300 there in the backline on the supply. And yeah, as I'm not seeing anything, I can drive up there. You can even sometimes be a bit more, like on the open field, a bit more aggressive with these Scout Bradleys, as they also have a little scout stealth bonus. So you'll always see enemy vehicles at least first. And yeah, there goes their S300. Yeah, then my mate had to restart the game for some reason, so I now had to micro his units as well. While we're getting pushed now. Yeah, some Moskayas in the building should be dead when the engineers arrive there. Now I basically have, that's like that was very unlucky. The guys that spawn from the vehicle are now assigned to another player, so I basically lose control over them and cannot place them in the same building. That's very, very unfortunate there. But yeah, again, the position that I'm now basically holding, that's basically the dream spot there. So these buildings, with this position, you can dominate the whole open field throughout the G point there. And I can basically now utilize my vision from the snipers there and chip away at the enemy units. Right, so my mate is now back in the game. Yeah, with the Iron Thunders, again, if you can always laser targets, the Iron Thunders, I would say, like by far the best long-range artillery for the Americans. Very accurate, especially with the laser. You can kill kind of anything. The only downside is that you don't have so much ammunition with them, and it takes quite a long time to reload them. So you really have to, once you fire it, go back to your ammunition depots and reload. Like oftentimes I see people that shoot like all of their ammunition, and only after they have depleted all of their ammo are going to rearm. However, that's just too late because again, one artillery shell takes 8 seconds. So yeah, if you want to reload the whole 24 rounds, this is going to take quite a bit of time there. Meaning that you basically want to rearm every time that you shoot, more or less. So yeah, you're always like topped off with ammo, and if a push is happening, you can react there quite fast. So again, have them on the short barrage, and with the shift micro, basically, you know, say okay, fire there, and then move back to the ammo depot. Also the Bradley Shorad, you can also push infantry with it as long as you like keep it out of the range of their anti-vehicle rockets, which is typically 400 meters. You can push them off quite nicely. And so yeah, I've now again managed to somewhat get into the position here. Orca is kind of annoying, but should basically lose quite fast to the weapon squad. And at this point I have all 3 of my Iron Thunders, which I would always recommend you to have like all 3 of them out at one time. Because told they just decided to not hit my Bradley, which is quite good. And yeah, now my reinforcements arrive. I got 1 tank here. Honestly, probably not even the best idea on this map. They are somewhat expensive and still get outrange on the open field by tow teams, which is why I'm again bringing another Bradley. They're coming more cruise missiles in, and I realize I have to position my Shorad a little bit more forwards in order to catch these cruise missiles. And obviously the enemy also has recon units in these forests on the right side of G, and are able to spot my guys in the buildings, which is basically this counter to this, because you just cannot like push to there with vehicles over the open field, more or less. You're just going to get destroyed. So here like the trophy survives with a glimpse of HP. But again, on these open maps, as soon as your enemy sees one of your expensive tanks, they will always cluster them. So yeah, tanks on this map, as like, or let's say on this like open fields, this map are not really worth it. Here the Bradleys really shine the tow teams. Thing I think I could also have done better is I have positioned my Patriot quite defensively here. However, I think I should have probably moved it a bit more forward. A nice strike here from my mate with the Fighting Falcon and the Merrics. I think I could have moved the Patriot more forward, especially since the enemy isn't really playing artillery that much. They are just playing cruise missiles, and if they spot my Patriot, or if I shoot with it, they can target it with cruise missiles either way. Whether I'm a bit more behind or a bit more forward with it. Yeah, so we can creep up a bit more. So I also have this beefy steer on the right side. The tricky part with this map is that you have this tree line here on the right side, and then this city. And the enemy could be somewhat sneaky and sneak by our right flank here, which is why I also now deployed the Global Hawk drone to get some vision on the right side. Yeah, my artillery there, nice kill in their book, and yeah, again they're trying to push towards D here, but my tow teams, Scout Bradley, can make somewhat short work of that. Also, the push with the alligator there is easily defended with the two shoreheads, so our position is quite good so far. Looking at the map, our mates on the left side also are pushing through quite well. Only our middle is a bit pushed in by the enemy. That's okay. So yeah, I now also are getting one of my longbows, basically to watch over the city there, to watch over the street that comes directly from their spawn to the right side. And that's also, I think, as you can see, their spawn is quite nearby, so again, we could also try to push G here. However, it's not really such a great idea because, again, our position here, the line that we have, is very nice and can defend it quite well, whilst G is not so easily defended. Basically because you get somewhat close to the forest there, you get very close to their spawn, which is always quite tough to hold. And currently we can hold out here very well. And so again, why this deck for the open map? Again, I think the Bradleys are the best option for the US when it comes to these open fields, which is why the Armored company is very strong here. And you also get the tow teams from the airborne, the weapon squads, and of course the air tab, which I actually don't really use this much, or I think not at all, even in on this round, simply because yeah, when I'm playing with my mate, he typically goes for airplanes and I focus more on the ground war. However, you can also very much utilize the planes here from the airborne division. I've also seen other people on YouTube, say that the airborne is like the worst spec for the US, which I would strongly disagree with. I actually think it's one of the strongest. Again, simply for the fact that they have the Eagle, Strike Eagle, with the cluster bombs, just so strong at the moment. Also, their choppers are quite good, and again, for these open fields, TOW teams are also nice. Here, my Scout Bradley would actually win this engagement, but I did not have a second charge of my APS there, so I backed up. And again, we're now trying to push in here. But on this range, the Bradleys in combination with the tanks are somewhat able to hold off here quite well. I did lose the Scout Bradley there, which is unfortunate, but this will be replaced straight away. Yeah, again, I lose another tank to the cluster. Yeah, a combination of the cluster is strong, and I probably shouldn't have my tanks so far up there, I guess. Again, I should have moved my Patriots more to the front here. So yeah, as a tip for you guys, never go too far away from your Patriots and your Shorettes with your tanks. Here again, you can see the laser very strong. Yeah, before the snipers die, unfortunately. Yeah, again with the laser, the Iron Thunder is just so deadly. I lasered first of all the building where the TOW teams were in, and then even when they retreat, you can still change the laser and kill off the squads on the go, which is very powerful. Yeah, what I have to do now, as I did just now, order a bit more of the TOW teams, maybe 1 or 2 Bradleys. The enemy can't really push this open fields. The only plate that they really have, I would say, which they're also doing right now, are the cruise missiles. We have 2 Shorettes to somewhat deal with that, but yeah, they do get through quite often. Again, 1 cruise missile or more coming in there. On the left side, on 2 cruise missiles on the supply. Yeah, that kind of hurts. Overall, the team is doing very good so far. Yeah. This rounds end like that. We have a very decisive advantage here. One guy also is left on the enemy team, which is unfortunate for them. But yeah, EVAs are, I would say, one of the biggest problems in the game currently, at least in multiplayer. I think you've all seen the announced patch notes that they to release. I hope patch is going to come out soon, because yeah, people leaving the game still happens very frequently, I would say, even in higher elos, let's say, which is kind of a shame, because if one guy leaves and your team is doing somewhat well, you can win it, but yeah, it's quite tough. And when 2 people or more leave, the game is just over. And there really isn't that much you can do, which is kind of unfortunate. And so here my snipers now spot the SSOs, and I think this also, the enemy should have done this much earlier. Basically, they didn't really realize that they don't really have any chance on the open field. They are on G, they're just getting clapped every time. However, what they can do, and I think what Russia should, in most cases, do is try to get in close and personal. So I think Russia has much better units at close range, especially if you play the armored division with Russia. So you have, the Barbarous with the 57 mil. I'm sure all of you have played against it and have felt the pain when they are just right up your ass and just fucking your whole front line, basically everything there. And they could do that quite easily on the right here in this city, which they now somewhat try to do. So, as you saw, there were like 1 or 2 tow teams firing at me, which now basically, yeah, my longbow is also getting hammered there. So they basically forced me to reroute some of my units to the city and kind of like fight him there. So I can't really sustain my position like this if I'm getting flanked from the right, especially if they have tow teams and their scouts. Which is why I think I now have to shift a bit more to the right there. And also like the forest that I'm in there with my battle and the tow team just are not that good, simply because they're so small that you can't really drive to a different place once you shot at the enemy, meaning that you going to die quite quickly from cruise missiles or enemy artillery there. Nevertheless, my mate is trying to get in on G with some airborne there, but yeah, again, I think somewhat of a dead man's land between our position and theirs. Pushing in onto G is also very suicidal, I would say. So yeah, holding our position here is by far the best play, and at this point trying to hold off their advance in the city on the right side. So we see the two corner teams there, and my RT is going to target them. Also bring in 2 of the airborne to push them out of there. And yeah, they pick off the Scout Bradley. So again, yeah, that's why I can't really sustain my position there. And again, start on my tank, and I lose it again. So yeah, I mean, again, it's also quite well played by the enemy. They're also not bad. And now also the very scary thing, RT on my RT. I think that's I didn't move them after I've taken a shot, maybe for several shots. But yeah, I see it in time and managed to dodge it. However, if you're unlucky, this can very much end in you losing all of your artillery, which is kind of like the worst case scenario. So always move after you're fired. Here we can pick up the Hornets. Again, especially with this deck, I really don't want to fight here in the city. I just don't have, as I explained to you in the deck guide, I just do not have the infantry to fight in these like very urban close combat meat grinders. The airborne with their they're very good on range but not good close range, and I will just lose here. So I don't really want to fight here I would ideally like to hold the front of these buildings there. Basically hold off any kind of advancements on the right side. And so there's again artillery on my artillery, but yeah, he's firing from quite a range there, and also with HE, which is much more less deadly against my artillery than the cluster. Here my mate comes in on the artillery, misses unfortunately. But again, yeah, if you shoot with your rocket artillery on these like far away distances, it's quite easy to dodge them if you spot it. So again, here that's an artillery, that's the Grad, I suppose. It's also somewhat dodgeable if you see it early. And yeah, I also lose now again against the cruise missiles. That's kind of okay at this point. And also because just hold here easily whatever is going to happen. Basically, this position is kind of ideal here for me on the right, looking down on the streets, maybe take a longbow there as well. And yeah, again, they're now trying to push through the forest here.
Direct fire on my mark. Longbow awaiting mission. Ain't nothing gonna get in our way. Move your asses, maggots! Air defense at your disposal, sir. Artillery.
I actually have lost quite a bit now as a look at my position. So yeah, probably not the best play to push in on G there. Reinforcements are coming, but I lost like 3 Bradleys, my sniper, one tank. Definitely not really necessary.
Good to go. Longbow here. Heading there.
It's just an easy pickup of the BTR there, plus
Copy.
infantry.
Longbow is combat ready. We got a clear shot. Flying there. Heading there.
More cruise missiles coming in.
Attack speed. Flight plan updated. Air defense ready for action. Troop transport standing by.
Yeah, that's actually quite huge getting in the core there.
Full power. Logi here.
And yeah, at this point, enemy says, okay, we have basically given up.
Cargo.
I think that's actually not a bait. I mean, like 1 or 2 guys are playing, but as you can see, the dude there on the right is going to sell all of his stuff. So we are basically going to cap the last 2 points quite
Longbow awaiting mission.
yeah, quite surely, and then sudden death them. Yeah, which basically concludes it for this video. I mean, there isn't really so much more action now going on here. So yeah, let's conclude maybe. So again,
Artillery standing by.
the big strength of this deck is, especially if you're a new player, and you don't really want to micro so crazy with tanks, with planes and many units, you can have a very good front line with, you know, just have a positioning of your tow teams of your scouts, of your Bradleys, etc., have a very good front line and defend open terrain, dominate the open terrain, and then basically hammer the enemy away with your Iron Thunder. Again, I think the Iron Thunder are by far the best, like, all-around artillery for the US. You can be very deadly with them, especially in combination with a laser, and also utilize the air tap. I didn't really do it in this game, but again, like the Strike Eagle with the cluster, as you've seen in this game from the enemy, the cluster planes are very effective. Use them. Also, the Mavericks are quite good if you manage to get them to work. So you have the A-10 with 6 Mavericks. They're also somewhat deadly. The only problem, let's say, is that you have to maintain vision there, and they have to be on the open. Alright guys, so yeah, again, I just cut to the end of the match as we just death them now. And yeah, that's going to conclude for this video. I hope I could showcase you a little bit more on how to play the Armored Airborne deck. If you have any questions left or any suggestions which deck I should showcase next, feel free to write a comment. And yeah, see you in the next one.